What if the biggest, most powerful banks in the world, the ones who fought crypto tooth and nail, are now secretly, or not so secretly, preparing for a future where digital assets are the very backbone of their existence? And what if, at the center of this seismic shift, is a single digital asset that you might already hold, or wish you did? For years, we've talked about the flippening, the mass adoption, the institutional wave. But now, something definitive has happened. Something that Ripple just confirmed. A revelation so significant, it will change the way you look at your money, your investments, and especially, your XRP. Today, we're not just going to talk about hypothetical scenarios or future possibilities. We're going to pull back the curtain on a reality that is already unfolding right now. I'm going to show you with undeniable evidence how the world's financial titans, the very institutions that once dismissed crypto, are now not just dabbling, but diving headfirst into blockchain and digital assets. This isn't a theory, it's a confirmed strategic pivot. And here's why this matters to every single one of you, especially if you're an XRP holder or considering becoming one. This shift isn't just about banks getting tech-savvy. It's about a fundamental rewiring of global payments, trade, and even how you'll manage your own wealth. We're talking about trillions of dollars in value, waiting to be unlocked. And a significant portion of that future, as you'll see, is being built on the very rails Ripple has been laying for over a decade. Get ready, because the future isn't coming, it's here. But there's a specific recent confirmation from Ripple itself that blows all previous speculation out of the water. It's a report, a declaration if you will, that crystallizes exactly where the financial world is headed, and more importantly, who is leading the charge. This isn't about vague statements. This is concrete. So what exactly did Ripple just confirm that has the entire industry buzzing, and why is it directly tied to the exponential rise of assets like XRP? Alright, let's get straight to it. Ripple just confirmed this monumental shift in their latest report, a collaboration with CB Insights and UKCBT. This isn't some blog post. This is a deep dive, backed by data, on how financial institutions are already reshaping the future through strategic investments, partnerships, and emerging use cases in blockchain. Think of it like this. For years, banks used clunky, old mainframes. Imagine a giant, slow-moving train. Blockchain is like a network of supersonic jets. And what this Ripple report confirms is that the banks are not just looking at the jets, they're buying them, building hangars for them, and training their pilots. Specifically, the report highlights staggering numbers. Over $100 billion invested in blockchain companies by financial institutions since 2020. That's not small change, that's serious commitment. $700 billion a month in stablecoin volume. Stablecoins, for those new to this, are like digital dollars, pegged 1:1 to the US dollar. They're the digital cash that will grease the wheels of this new financial system. And here's the kicker, an $18 trillion projection in tokenized assets by 2033. To put that in perspective, that's like taking every single stock, bond, piece of real estate, and fine art in the world, and digitizing it so it can move at the speed of light, 24/7. This isn't just a revolution, it's a complete reimagining of how value moves. This report isn't just good XRP news, it's a detailed blueprint. It tells us that 90% of global finance leaders expect blockchain to have a significant or massive impact on finance in the next 3 years. They're not deliberating, they're integrating. Why? Because it offers near-instant settlement, low-cost transactions, 24/7 availability, and incredible transparency. Think of it, sending money across the world in seconds, not days, for pennies, not dollars. That's the power. That's the shift. Now the question becomes, who are these financial institutions that are leading this charge? Are we talking about small, niche players, or the absolute titans of global finance? And how does this connect directly back to the backbone of what XRP was built for? You might be surprised to learn who's at the forefront of this monumental shift, and their long-standing ties to Ripple's vision. It's not just any banks, folks. The Ripple report specifically calls out powerhouses like JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, and SBI Group as being especially active investors. They've participated in dozens of blockchain-related mega-round funding deals. That's $100 million plus investments. These aren't just trial runs. These are strategic, long-term plays. Imagine the biggest banks in the world, for years running their own private, exclusive clubs. Now, they're realizing the global party is happening on a public, decentralized network. They're investing in companies building the very infrastructure for digital asset custody, real-world asset tokenization, and global payments. This is where XRP's utility truly shines. Let's rewind a bit. Back in 2021, even before the mainstream buzz, we saw Rakbank in the UAE, a major player, explicitly plugging into Ripple's global bank-centric blockchain network. This was to enable live retail remittance payments to customers in India. This wasn't a one-off. Ripple has been laser-focused on the UAE for a long time, building out its network there. Remember Zan Bank and Mamo? Ripple's first blockchain-powered payments clients in the UAE. This isn't new, it's the culmination of years of strategic groundwork. So when people say old articles about Ripple's partnerships don't matter, they're dead wrong. They mean everything. They are the breadcrumbs that lead us to this exact moment, where Ripple can confidently declare, the shift is happening. But how did these traditional, often risk-averse institutions suddenly get the green light to jump into the wild world of crypto? There's been a critical development on the regulatory front, a piece of legislation that has fundamentally changed the game for banks. And this regulatory clarity, while seemingly dry, could unleash a torrent of institutional capital into specific digital assets. But here's the kicker. What's the hidden cost of this newfound clarity, and how might it dramatically impact your XRP holdings in ways you haven't considered? The game changer, my friends, is the Genius Act. President Trump signed this historic bipartisan bill into law on July 18, 2025. This isn't just a win for crypto, it's a seismic shift for the banking sector. The Genius Act creates the first comprehensive federal framework for stablecoin regulation in the United States. It basically gave banks the explicit green light they desperately needed. Imagine a giant, heavily armored door that banks have been standing in front of for years, itching to get inside the crypto vault. The Genius Act just blew that door wide open. It authorizes banks to engage in DLT, distributed ledger technology, and digital asset activities like custody, lending, market making, and even operating blockchain nodes. This means banks can now legally, and with regulatory clarity, offer crypto services directly to their clients. This is massive. We're seeing USDC, a major stablecoin, partnering with FIS Global to be brought directly to banks. And if USDC is coming, what about ROUSD, Ripple's own US dollar-backed stablecoin? You bet it's on the radar. Banks want to tap into these stablecoins for faster, cheaper payments. This is more than just XRP news, it's fundamental infrastructure being built out. We're seeing PNC Bank partnering with Coinbase, Standard Chartered becoming the first global bank to offer institutional trading for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Even $71 billion Old National Bank is giving clients direct access to Bitcoin and crypto trading. As their executive Jim Ryan said, crypto is going to be here for a long, long time, and so we have to find ways to help our clients acquire and custody those assets. They don't want to be left behind. But here's a crucial, almost alarming observation. While these financial giants are moving with undeniable force, where's the retail investor? Many of you might feel like the crypto market has been a choppy, frustrating ride. You might be asking, if this is so big, why isn't my portfolio reflecting it yet? There's a significant disconnect between what the institutions are doing and what the average person perceives. And this disconnect holds a powerful secret about the timing of the next parabolic move. What is this secret, and why is it so vital for your XRP strategy? The secret is this. While many retail investors got shaken out during market corrections, the institutional players did not care about the price action. They are here, methodically and strategically, planting seeds. They are planning to utilize this technology at scale. Think back to 2020 to 2021. Retail FOMO drove prices parabolic. But how many of those people are still here? Many got wiped out, tired of the sideways price action and downtrends. The big money, the banks, the corporations, they don't get emotional. They see the underlying technology. They see the undeniable shift. This isn't about speculation for them. This is about integrating blockchain as a core piece of finance, of banking, of everything around us. They're not waiting for a bull run driven by hype. They are creating the conditions for the next bull run by building the infrastructure, gaining regulatory clarity, and attracting trillions in tokenized assets. This means if you're holding XRP now, or considering it, you're still incredibly early. The true mass adoption, driven by institutional demand and utility, is still ahead. This is the calm before the storm, the quiet accumulation phase before the world realizes what has been built. We've talked about Ripple's confirmations, the bank's big moves, and the regulatory clarity. But there's one final critical piece to this puzzle, something specifically on the XRP ledger itself, that will make it the ultimate playground for institutional finance. This innovation has been quietly developing, and it's set to unlock unprecedented levels of liquidity and utility for XRP. What is this missing piece, and how will it propel XRP into a new league of its own? This is where the XRP ledger truly takes center stage. We're talking about the recent innovations like automated market makers, AMMs, on the XRPL. Think of an AMM like a futuristic, always-open exchange that never sleeps. Instead of waiting for a buyer or seller, you interact with a pool of assets. This creates immense liquidity, making it easier and faster for institutions to swap massive amounts of money and assets. This isn't just for retail, this is built for scale, for the world's biggest players. And here's the most exciting part, alongside these AMMs, the XRP ledger is developing a permissioned decentralized exchange, DEX. This is the key. While the broader DeFi space can be a bit like the Wild West, a permissioned DEX on the XRPL means that institutions can engage with decentralized finance in a compliant, scalable way. This means the biggest banks can finally dip their toes, then their entire bodies, into DeFi without regulatory nightmares. This is the bridge. This is how the institutional wave, the one making over $100 billion in investments, comes directly to the XRP ledger. This is how institutional DeFi becomes a reality. This is how XRP transitions from a digital asset to a global financial infrastructure, capable of settling trillions daily. So if all of this is happening, if the banks are integrating, if the regulations are clear, and if the XRP ledger is building the foundational technology for global finance, what does this really mean for the value of XRP? We're talking about trillions of dollars in projected tokenized assets, and Ripple's own research suggests that to settle just $1 trillion worth of transactions daily, approximately $100 billion worth of XRP is required in liquidity pools to ensure smooth, real-time conversions. What does that kind of demand, on a fixed supply asset like XRP, imply for its valuation? Let's connect the dots. We have massive institutional adoption. Banks are required to integrate blockchain. Regulatory clarity. The Genius Act gives them the green light. Core utility. The XRP ledger with AMMs and compliant DeFi is the chosen platform for a significant portion of this. Real-world asset tokenization. An $18 trillion market is coming online, and XRP is perfectly positioned for it. Now, consider the simple economics of supply and demand. XRP has a finite supply. When institutions need to facilitate payments, trade tokenized assets, or provide liquidity on the XRPL, they need XRP. This isn't speculative buying, this is utility-driven demand. When you have a fixed supply and demand that's driven by the very core operations of global finance, trillions of dollars in daily transactions, the mathematical imperative is clear. The value of XRP must increase significantly to meet that liquidity demand. We're moving beyond just cross-border payments. We're talking about XRP as the neutral bridge asset for the entire digitized global economy. This isn't just a prediction, it's an economic force. XRP is transitioning from a digital asset into the digital infrastructure itself. So what does this all mean for you, the XRP holder? Or for those of you sitting on the sidelines, watching this unfold? It means this is not just an opportunity, it's a critical window. Ripple just confirmed that the shift is undeniable. They are saying explicitly that 2025 is the year everything is changing. The central banks are testing blockchain. Traditional banks are going all in. They're investing hundreds of billions, not millions, but billions, into this space. Think about it. The very institutions that dismissed crypto for years are now confirming its inevitability. They are setting the stage for mass adoption, at a time when retail is still largely absent, shaken out, or simply unaware of the magnitude of what's unfolding. This isn't about getting rich overnight on a meme coin. This is about being strategically positioned for a tectonic shift in the global financial system. When the traditional finance giants fully unleash their capabilities on the XRP ledger, when the XRP ETFs are approved, and when tokenized assets become mainstream, the demand for XRP will be unlike anything we've seen before. This is your moment to understand the magnitude of this confirmed shift. This is your chance to move from being a spectator to an empowered participant. The future of finance is here, and XRP is at its beating heart. You now have a deeper understanding of the confirmed fundamental shift happening in global finance, and Ripple's pivotal role in it. This isn't just about investing in a coin, it's about investing in the future infrastructure of money itself. The question isn't if this is happening, but are you ready? To continue your journey and truly capitalize on this information, I highly recommend watching our next video, where we break down the exact metrics and milestones that will signal XRP's next parabolic surge. Click here to gain that critical advantage. Don't just watch the shift happen, be part of it.